Hey, Buckeye Nation. Welcome to the Buckeye Cast, your only commercial-free Ohio State football podcast. These guys were born and bred in the Buckeye State, and they like to talk Buckeye football and drink bourbon. Subscribe and leave a review wherever you get your podcast. Now, pour a drink and pull up a stool. Here's your host, Joe Warwick.
What is up? We are back. We are back, baby. Season 7 of the Buckeye Cast in your ear holes or your face holes, wherever you're consuming us. As I got to mention this, this is the only commercial-free Ohio State podcast. I listen to all the Ohio State podcasts, and it's non-stop commercials. Those guys, I love Buckeye Huddle, and those are the leftovers from Buckeye Scoop, the good guys that left. But they just picked up where they left off on the commercial front. Every fucking 10 minutes, it's 2 minutes of commercials. And if you don't have your phone right next to you, you got to fucking go find it, start banging on that fast forward button. Hate that shit. I got Shawn here with me. Jeff is MIA. So, Shawn, do you experience my same commercial woes?
I do. I listen to a few things out there. I'm not going to advertise anyone, but yeah, and it's always like they're going to say something and then breaks into commercial.
Yeah.
And then I'm old school, you know me, and I'm on, when I'm listening to stuff, it's usually YouTube. So then I got to hit skip ad, or sometimes you can't and it's clear. And then sometimes it goes so long to ad I couldn't get to skip it, and then it gets back to it and I forgot what the hell point he was trying to make.
Yeah, because you missed half the sentence or the paragraph or whatever he was talking about. Yeah, exactly. So please keep that in mind when you subscribe to this show. Please hit us up on YouTube, all the podcast platforms. We're there. You can find us. Just search the Buckeye Cast. Subscribe and share it with a friend. We'd greatly appreciate it. And if you want to interact with the show, leave a review or comment on YouTube. It really helps get exposure. YouTube channel is blowing up. Let me tell you. You might be missing the daily blitzes. The Daily Buckeye Blitz is a 5-minute podcast I do on video. It's also on the podcast feed, so you can hear the audio. So it's one topic, no guests and no co-host, just me and my microphone in a corner. So keep an eye out for that. As always, hit the supply store. Get yourself geared up for the football season. Just a couple weeks away. Shawn, do you have any bourbon you want to talk about?
No, still actually was down and out a bit last week, so no, haven't really gotten into anything other than a Chili's Pepper concert that was pretty sweet. But no, still got that Weller, working on that one. That's kind of my MO, is I open one and drink it till it's gone and then figure out what I'm opening next.
Yeah. That's a good way to work.
Next.
Yeah. That's a good way to work. For those on the video, the recording got fucked up early on, so you probably missed the intro to the show and all my rambling. So don't worry, you didn't miss much. But please like and subscribe and hit the bell and all that good stuff so you find out when our episodes are up. And keep an eye out for the Daily Blitz. So this week we had, today is Monday, we had Coach Wilson and the tight ends. We had team interviews with them. You can find those on the podcast feed. Coming up on Tuesday, you got Coach Jay and the D-line. And then Thursday, you got Coach Dennis and the QBs. They're letting Herb's son-in-law talk to the media for once. So that's different. Oh.
Keep it clean, boys. Keep it clean.
Yeah. Remember when they first named him quarterback's coach, like he wasn't allowed to talk to media for like a year. It's really weird. So, Shawn, I want to get your take on the captains. Oh, Captain, my captains.
Captains?
Yeah. The 2022 Ohio State captains. Oh, I used to drink a ton of Captain back in the old days.
You were a Captain guy.
Captain Silver was my jam. So, let's start with receiver Cam Babb getting the Block O jersey. What do you think about that?
Yeah, I mean, have you ever heard anything other than glowing comments about Cam Babb and the tough times that he's went through at Ohio State, but persevered, fights through, earns that Block O. I think has the respect of everybody, certainly in the receiver room and probably on the whole team. Just with the type of things I hear about that guy. So to me, well earned, well given, and I think he will be, whether he's a huge asset on the field, which I hope he is, or not, I think he's still going to have a huge impact in that room with the quality of dude he is.
Yeah, coming off counting four ACLs. He only has 2 legs, Shawn. Yikes. No goddamn way I'm coming back from 4.
I can't believe they haven't figured out a way to, I don't know.
Yeah. So, maybe a better cadaver. You pull your tendons from ligaments.
Right, get it from some giant dude that had all this stress on his knee.
Yeah. Why are your knees so fat? But I was impressed with that, and I can't wait to see him out there rocking the Block O, or as it were, 0. C.J. Stroud, the second-year starter at QB, was the leading vote getter. I think that speaks volumes. You shouldn't be surprised, but we've seen teams that their quarterback is not even a captain.
Right.
So I think
it makes sense. I think he's earned that as well. I think he's really taken on a leader role, and he's serious about his craft. So yeah, that's probably the biggest no-brainer on the team.
The biggest no-brainer is that Jeff just texted me and said he completely forgot about the podcast. Yeah, could have fucking written that one myself. Anyway, so cool. Tight end Cade Stover. This one I thought was interesting because he hasn't really taken on a leadership role to this point. I mean, obviously the position changes make that difficult when you're flip-flopping all over. But the guy brings the fucking juice, man, brings the energy, and obviously has a haircut that I wish I had. I had the balls to pull off. But so yeah, and I 6. Let's see. Yeah, 6 of these guys were not all of them. 1, 2, 3, 5 of them were Iron Buckeyes. So
makes sense.
Yeah, there's 7 Iron Buckeyes. Obviously, CJ probably not going to be your Iron Buckeye ever.
Right.
Not that you want him to be, but I love Cade Stover, and I think that's going to be huge. He's going to be your starting tight end.
Well, I think Cade. I mean, it's obviously speculation on my part, but just the way Cade has, bounced around linebacker. Is he going to be kind of a D end? Is he a tight end? I think the guy's versatile. I think he's willing to do whatever to help the team, and I think that's why you get that kind of attitude. Like, hey, man, I do whatever you need me to do, and that's an unselfish, badass dude. And like you said, he brings it.
Yeah. He just wants to put his face mask through somebody, and if he happens to catch a ball or 2 per game, that's just whipped cream on top. or the cherry on top of the whipped cream, whatever. Tommy Eichenberg, middle linebacker, was the other captain. Thought that was interesting because the guy does not say shit to the media. I think he downright despises it. So, kind of reminds you of a tough Borland in many ways, not just his skin color.
I hope not his speed.
Yeah.
I was a little bit taken back by it, but I mean, it sounds like he's linebacker one of all the people, even above Chambers. I feel like, everything I read is Eichenberg is the guy there. So to me, there's so many guys that are there, and certainly a couple of them are transfers in or whatnot, with DA and Tranium and those guys. But you got, Taraja and just, I don't know though, but I love having the middle linebacker as a captain. They're making a lot of the calls on defense. And,
it's the quarterback of the defense.
Yeah.
So it makes sense. Tyler Friday, D lineman. We don't hear much about him or from him ever. Fifth-year senior, definitely his last season, but he's showed out and put in a ton of work and was derailed by injury last year. So hopefully he can. He might not even be a starter. That's what's kind of weird. Same with Court Williams. Probably not a starter.
Yeah, I know. It just makes me want to know. I was actually really high on Friday last year, and then obviously that didn't pan out, injury. But I think Friday and Harrison. I think there's there should be a fire under their ass. With JT and what's his name behind him. So I'm really expecting. I'll bet you Friday did put in some work. It's like, damn, if I don't, I'm not going to get on the field. And so I'm actually kind of, I'm finally, wishfully hoping that Friday and Harrison finally become the dudes that we want them to be. And let's have 4 just wrecking balls out there whenever we want.
Yeah.
That'd be a nice Rushman package right there.
Yeah. Yeah, same deal with Court Williams. He was the last captain at safety, and again, not a starter. But they are talking about using him as I guess you'd call him a third linebacker, but he would be technically a safety coming in on run defense for a big package, So I find that interesting. He's about the same size as the other linebackers. He's bigger than C.J. Hicks.
There's so many good dudes back there. It's just good for Court Williams, and
he's always
I
been
feel like if you're made a captain, you're probably going to get on the field a bit,
Yeah, definitely. I agree. I do wonder if Ty Fry is going to slide down inside at all and not play end.
Big enough?
He's pretty big. But all right, so tonight we're going to get into regular season team wins. We got about maybe a dozen teams here we're going to run through. Basically, it's the top 10 that you might assume, and then a couple other Big Ten teams, people that are teams that are important to us, that matter in our season anyways, whether it's regular season or playoffs. So let's start off with a layup. We kind of laid this out last week by predicting Ohio State's schedule and the scores per game. Buckeyes, I'm going to give you a schedule ranking, strength of schedule, Shawn. So I have Phil Steele's strength of schedule for every team and PFF's, okay?
All right.
I didn't have the other magazines I have, like Athlon and Pick Six, they did not have schedule rankings for some reason. It's not their bag. So I'll give those to you before I lay out the Vegas over-unders and the juice. We'll give you the juice on the over and unders. All right?
Sounds good.
Okay. Well, like I mentioned, we'll start off with the Buckeyes. Phil Steele has them at the 14th most difficult schedule in the country. PFF has them at 16. Yeah. So Buckeyes, the over-under is set at 10.5, and the juice on over is minus 225, and the under is plus 185.
I mean, you heard me go through the schedule. With this talent, I don't know. I'm just super pumped about this team. If they don't get that over, then it's their fault. They certainly can. So I mean, I got the over on the Buckeyes all day. I see, I see all wins, but maybe they slip up once, but I don't see them slipping up twice again.
Yeah, I agree 100%. I think maybe they got once. Hopefully, it's not the last game of the year, and I think that's it. Okay, let's go ahead.
I just hope it isn't week 1.
Or week 12, 13, whatever it is.
Yeah, the first and last, the bookends.
Exactly. So let's go to Bama. We're kind of going in alphabetical order, so there's no particular ranking here. So Alabama, Phil Steele has them at 29, PFF 29. Over-under is, again, 10.5, same as the Buckeyes. And almost similar odds in the juice. You got minus 265 over, plus 205 under. What do you got?
With Bama, I mean, they do got Texas early. We'll see if Texas is going to be any good. They're not. They play Texas A&M at home. Tennessee's not close. Mississippi State, I think LSU is. Ole Miss is probably, and then the Iron Bowl. Yeah, no, Bama might slip up once too, but Bama's going to be Bama, I think, and win 11 to 12 games.
Yeah, I agree. I think I don't see more than one loss, even potentially on their schedule. I'm taking the over also. Not betting it. Definitely not betting it at minus 265. I mean, maybe if you want to if you can parlay it somewhere, take Ohio State over and Alabama over. Maybe you get close to even odds, but I'll pass. I'm not a parlay guy anyways. Devil's tools. Let's go to Clemson. Clemson, apparently they still matter in the national picture. Where were they ranked here today? 4th. They're ranked 4th in the AP poll today. So.
But what's their schedule ranking?
Yeah, that's the important part. That's where I'm going. Phil Steele has them at 45th. PFF has them at 52nd. And their over-under is 10.5. I can read off their schedule if you'd like.
I'm looking at it.
All right.
And they're at 10.5 also?
Yeah. The juice is over is minus 130. Under is even money.
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to go with the under on that. I think
Nice.
By that time of the year, Notre Dame's going to be rolling in. I still think they got major problems on offense. And I think their stud DN just hurt his foot and is out 6 weeks.
Which one? I didn't hear that. Brezzy?
Thomas.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I heard about that one. So you're taking the under?
I'm taking the under on Clemson. I don't trust him. I don't trust Ugalui or whatever his name is. And unless he has some huge jumps, he's going to, he might win him a game, but he might lose him a game or two also.
Oh, I think I fucked up the juice there. Let me double check that. I think I had it backwards. I think the over was even money. I got to confirm this before we go any further. I don't want to give people wrong information when it comes to gambling. I can give you wrong information about my life all day long, but Clemson season wins. I'm on Bet Online. Come on. Clemson is, under is minus 130. So that's the favorite.
What's the over?
Even money. So Vegas thinks Clemson's definitely not winning 11 games.
But you know that ACC is such garbage, and the reason you said they're still nationally relevant because they may well be. They may roll into November with one loss, or get out of November with one loss, and then then they're in because they're Clemson. And but I don't think they're up to it.
I don't think they can go to Boston College and Florida State. They can go there. Boston. I think going to Boston College is a huge challenge. Jeff Hafley and the Fighting BCers, and then Louisville, the Canes, and the Gamecocks. That Gamecocks game coming up last. That's concerning. I think they could lose at least 2, possibly 3 on that schedule. Notre Dame.
Yeah.
You could lose to both Catholics.
And I mean, is Florida State ever going to get a pulse again, or no? They're still done.
It's going to be a while. They need a huge influx of money. My chiropractor a few years ago went to Florida State, and I was trying to tell him how that athletic department's a fucking joke. And I said, you need to start scratching some checks to your alma mater. Those boys need some help because they were paying coaches to, like, not coach. They were going through, like, Taggart's and other dudes, Norvell, paying guys just to leave. Anyways, let's go to Georgia. Again, another weak-ass schedule. See, we're gonna do a separate segment someday about these fucking SEC teams and their alleged tough schedules, because Georgia's schedule is ranked 58th with Phil Steele, and PFF has them at 44th.
Yeah, their toughest game is the first one against a mediocre Oregon team out of conference.
Yeah, that has nobody. Bo Nix is their starting quarterback that transferred from Auburn. Got to be kidding me. So let me give you the over-unders there. 10.5 also for the Bulldogs. Over is -215. Under is +175.
They don't play. Yeah, I mean, I'm looking at this right now. The only ranked team right now that they play is Oregon. Nobody else is ranked in the top preseason. Oh, no, Kentucky's 20.
Yeah, there you go. Auburn, where's Auburn at?
Not ranked.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And they got Auburn at home.
Where's Tennessee? Tennessee ranked?
No, they're just, I think they're receiving votes like just outside the top 25 from both. But I don't think that Georgia is Georgia of last year. And I'm going to go ahead and take the over, though.
Taking the over. Winning 11. Okay.
Again, who's going to beat them on there? Oh, Kentucky? Oregon? If Oregon beats them right out of the gate, then hey.
Yeah.
I'm gonna lose. If Oregon beats them right out of the gate, they're probably gonna lose 2 more.
You can tear up that ticket. Yeah,
for sure.
All right. Yeah, I agree. I think that strength of schedule is fucking trash, and like I said, I just get tired of these SEC. I don't want to call them fans; they're idiots because they have no concept of what a tough schedule is. Play 9 conference games before you come at me with strengths of schedule. So anyways, let's move it on. Let's go to Michigan. Phil Steele has them at 50th. Again, another weak schedule. PFF 41. The over-under is 9.5. So we're dipping down into a little bit more realistic territory, I think, for Michigan. But the juice is the same, -115 on both the over and under.
I mean, a lot's been said about this Michigan schedule. this is the lightest schedule that I think even any Michigan fan can remember. I mean,
Yeah.
Colorado State, Hawaii, and UConn
Right.
out of conference.
Right.
I mean, oh my gosh. I mean, play Western Michigan, at least that's an upgrade from these bums.
Yeah.
I mean, it's kind of ridiculous.
Yeah, at least keep the money in state, right?
Yeah. But UConn is horrendous. Hawaii's horrendous. And Colorado State, I think, they're the worst in their conference. They're going to be a 2-3 win team. Same with UConn and Hawaii. So, yeah, I actually think the schedule sets up so nice for them that I got to go with the over.
Ooh.
Michigan's offense is going to be legit. I think their defense is going to have some issues. But again, you're gonna roll right through these first three. Maryland might give you
4.
some.
Yeah.
They're but Maryland will air it out on you, and you'll find out if you got a secondary real quick against Maryland.
That's a home game for Michigan, though.
It is, but it's going to be they're not even going to be used to playing dudes this big, or
Yeah. See, I did the over-unders on the Daily Blitz a few weeks ago, and I got them going 9-3. I don't think they can get through at Iowa, even if they're at home with Penn State, at home against Michigan State, and then coming to Columbus. Those 4 games, there's no way they can win more than 2 of those. I think they lose 3 of them, and I didn't even factor in Nebraska because I expect Nebraska to be better.
Yeah, I mean, you obviously I'm figuring the Ohio State game is a loss, so there's their first one.
Yeah.
I think they'll probably end up splitting with Penn State, Michigan State. Who knows? I guess we'll see how it goes as the season progresses. But man, if Michigan State can pull off winning back at Michigan 3 years in a row,
Yeah.
I don't know.
And at Iowa, crazy shit happens in the corn, man.
I know that should be a scared game for them. And like you said, Nebraska, who knows? I think they'll be improved. But again, they could be sleepwalking into that Maryland game.
Yeah.
I mean, if Maryland wins, they're going to win like 48-45, something like that. I think it'd be a high-scoring affair, would be my guess. But
yeah. So I think, that could be like a turning of 2 seasons. If Maryland beats Michigan at Michigan, those 2 teams could go in completely opposite directions after that. You know. But all right, so you're taking over, huh?
I'm taking
mark
over.
This down. Gotcha. I'm going under. Sparty, Michigan State, tough schedule here. Phil has them at 26th, PFF 19th, but they're only expected, the over-under is 7.5. Minus 130 on the over and plus 100 on the under.
7.5 for Sparty, and yet they're ranked 15th. How
Right.
can you have? Usually, the 15th ranked team isn't 7-5. So
Right.
I mean, those numbers really aren't adding up. They obviously lost their workhorse in that Kenneth Walker.
Yeah.
But they got that Thorne quarterback. I think that kid's pretty decent.
They lost Naylor too.
Yeah, but they still got that Jaden Reed. I think
Right.
he's preseason All Big Ten or whatever, on some watch lists and whatnot. I think he's a pretty good kid. Defense, I don't know. I don't know if they got the dudes. Their class coming in, I think next year is going to be really good. Probably one of the best they've ever had. But I mean, and I think what's his name? Their coach has been doing all right, especially with the portal. I mean, the guy brings dudes in. So I don't know all the people he's brought in, but I know he works the shit out of that portal. And
they're number 23 in this 2022 class, recruiting-wise, and number 4 in the Big Ten.
Yeah, that ain't bad for them.
No. But I look at their schedule, Shawn, and I think they got an easy first 3 weeks. Going to Washington won't be too difficult. But then they got...
Watch out for Minnesota.
Yeah, exactly. That's going to be a sledgehammer game, running the ball down your throat. But then we got the Buckeyes and Wisconsin back-to-back, even though they're in East Lansing. Then you got a week off, and then at Michigan. You got at Penn State to finish up the season. That's 4. I see 4 losses in there.
Well, and also, I think their secondary last year was actually even worse than ours.
Oh yeah, definitely.
I mean, it was trash. And so I that Maryland. I mean, that's not a in the bag game for them.
No, that's true. I think their secondary is going to be better, but like you said, they haven't addressed it through the portal like they should have. So I think I'm going to go over, though.
Let's see. I got Ohio State, they lose. Michigan, they lose. And then between Minnesota, Maryland, Wisconsin, State. Yeah, I'm going over. I got them losing 4. I got them 8-4.
Me too. All right, got it marked down. All right, let's talk Oklahoma. Yeah, they're still around, even though Lincoln Riley left. They actually still have a program in Lincoln. Or, where are they from? Oklahoma? Norman. Lincoln, Norman, whatever. So Oklahoma has, Phil has them at 41, PFF has them at 43 on the strength of schedule front, and their over-under is 9.5 wins. Over is -105, under is -125.
How many is it?
9.5. First year for Brent Venables, the former DC from Clemson.
So 9.5.
Yep.
They can only lose 2. I'm going the under on Oklahoma. I think they're going to have games against Oklahoma State, Baylor. I think Iowa State will play them tough. I think at Nebraska will be a football game. I mean, I think we got Texas, obviously. I think they got 5 games that are up in the air, and I think they're at least going to lose 3 of them.
Yeah, I agree. There's no way they're winning 10 games.
Their coach bolted, their quarterback's gone, isn't he? And, I mean, Venables is running the joint.
Yeah, and other guys have left, too, like the receiver. It's not just the quarterback. So, that's not good for business.
They better hope they keep it close and it doesn't get away from them and they lose 6 games.
Yeah. Baylor is on the come up. Baylor won that conference last year, by the way. So let's go to Texas A&M. I got them coming in at 11th ranked schedule by Phil Steele, and PFF has them at 10th. So difficult year schedule-wise. Their over-under is 8.5, which you might expect from that ranking. The over is -145. Under is +115.
Who's this for?
Texas A&M. Jimbo. Number 1 ranked recruiting class, 2022.
I mean, seriously, they got some serious dudes there. Do you think how many of those kids make an impact? 1, 2? I mean, a couple of them are going to get on the field, right?
On the defensive line, yeah, I would think some of those edge rushers, they got like 10 of them. But their quarterback, I would be very concerned with. They got Haynes King or Max Johnson. Neither have done anything thus far. So Johnson transferred from LSU, So, yeah. I don't even know if they've decided on a starting quarterback yet this far into camp.
Well, I don't know. I think the Aggies, though, they're going to be they're going to have more talent than most of the teams they play. I think. But what'd you say their schedule rank was? Because I see ranked
11,
Miami.
11 and 10.
Then they tuck UMass in there right before their last game. That's
Against LSU, yeah.
I don't know. I'd really love to see Arkansas throw some fucking wrenches into that SEC and have a couple quality upsets.
They will, man. Sam Pittman, go Hogs.
So they got Ole Miss on that. What's the over under here again?
8.5.
8.5. Man, that's a good line. So you got 1, 2, 3.
That's why the juice is even.
4, 8.5. No, I got them. I got them under, man. They're gonna win
8.
Yeah,
I agree. I'm there too. I was trying to find 4 wins or 5 wins. 9 wins for them. I can't find 9 wins. I can't. All right, let's go to the Golden Domers. Notre Dame. Phil Steele has them at 44. PFF has them at 34th. Ranked strength of schedule. Over under 8.5. A little low for the Domes. Over is minus 145. Under is plus 115.
They start out, they start out with the loss.
Right.
And then they got their regulars. They played Clemson late in the season.
Yep.
USC.
Don't forget Boston College in there.
Yeah, Boston College and Stanford, BYU. Is North Carolina? North Carolina was decent there for a minute. Are they done or? I think they can still play ball.
Their quarterback moved on, but they still got some 4-star talent on that team for sure. Defense, they got a couple 5 stars.
It's what is it for these guys? 9.5, 8.5.
8.5.
I got to tell you, first-year coach. I wish him well, but I think he's gonna get out coached a few times. I'm gonna go the under on this.
I'm kind of leaning that direction too. PFF has them projected to win 6.6 games. That's not good for business. Yeah, there's value in there. If you guys want to put money on that under, plus 115, might want to look at that. Might want to look at that. I might want to look at that right now. Anyway, moving on. Penn State. A little difficult year for old Franklin. Phil has them at 20th, and PFF has them ranked 24th in the strength of schedule. Over-under is 8.5. So we're getting kind of into that realm of 8.5 world. Minus 135 on the under. The under. Over is plus 105. So Vegas is not expecting the Nits to win 9 games.
It's 8.5.
Yeah. The juice on the
they got a tough stretch right there in the middle. Michigan, Minnesota, Ohio State.
Yeah. Yeah. Purdue can throw the ball to start off week 1. Might want to be ready for that. Yeah. Michigan, Minnesota. Yeah. Ready. And then you got Sparty to finish up the season.
Yeah, but I just, Franklin's gonna go out there and win 9 games, man. I'm going over.
Wow. Even with Shawn Clifford at quarterback.
Yeah, at this point, though, the guy's played forever. I know he's not that talented, but he's been there. He plays tough. He's gritty. He doesn't have all the talent in the world, but he's a gritty MFer.
Yeah, I'm going under. I don't know how Franklin has the number 6 recruiting class in the country, number 2 in the Big Ten, of course. for 2022.
And you look at the past few years, and he's always got good recruiting classes. So there's dudes on that team.
Yeah.
Yeah, Franklin will win. Franklin will win 9. He might win 10.
I think their D-line is going to be a weakness, and I still think quarterback is a problem. I think they need to really consider getting Drew Aller in there at some point. So maybe they will just in garbage time, but I think you got to consider making that transition sooner than later. But all right, let's go to Wisconsin. Phil has them 36th toughest schedule. PFF has them at 30th. Over under again 8.5, and when over is -140, under is +110.
Wisconsin.
Yeah.
And they're going to be good, right? They're Wisconsin. They got a pretty shit schedule to start out until week 4, when they travel to Columbus. And it's 8.5 on these guys too. So
Yeah.
Nebraska will be Nebraska, and they'll probably roll most of those teams. Yeah. I mean, yep, I'm going to give them the over. I'm going to give them winning that. I'm going to give them winning that side.
Yeah. You kind of have to, right? I mean, with their schedule basically being in the West is pretty easy. When they do have those crossover games, even if they lose a couple of them to Ohio State, Michigan State, whatever, they're still going to hit that over.
And they got a good running back, and they're going to have a good O-line, and they're going to play Wisconsin ball.
Exactly.
And grind out a bunch of wins.
Yep, against garbage teams. I do say that they're going to have 3 or 4 tough ones, at least.
Oh, yeah, they're going to be in some ball games.
Yeah. At Iowa, that's always a barn burner. Literally, they're burning barns. All right, let's go out to the West Coast. USC. We've got 2 Pac-12 teams here, soon to be Pac-10. And so USC, one of the newest Big Ten teams rolling in. Not quite yet, but these 2 teams, Jesus. Their strength of schedule is fucking trash. 49th on Phil Steele. And PFF has them 53rd. Over-under is 9.5 wins. That's aggressive for a new coach. I don't care who he is.
But he's got dudes. He's got a weak conference. He's got his quarterback.
Yeah.
He's got a cupcake schedule. I think you're going to see USC dominate out there.
Yeah.
I think Lincoln's better than the rest of those guys, and now he's going to get all the dudes too. Maybe I'm a year off, but I think it starts now.
Okay.
These guys.
What was the juice here? Over under under is -125. So Vegas is leaning under. PFF has them projected to win 7.4. They dude, check this out. They brought in 20 players through the portal just this year. 20.
That's how you build a team.
Is it? Little thing called chemistry mean anything?
But who do they play? They play Utah and Notre Dame. And
yeah, Utah's a loss. UCLA, I think Notre Dame could be a loss too, because that's a real defense. Utah's a real defense, but the rest, Stanford.
The Beavers.
Yeah. They're going to eat the Beavers. There's nothing.
Colorado, come on.
Yeah, nothing else intimidating. Food, you got started off week 1 with food and rice. So yeah, I'm going to have to go with you there. I didn't want to do it, but that's actually the better play because it's minus 105 on the over. So we're both going over. USC, Lincoln Riley starts it off right. Utah is our last game, our last team. Phil has them 55th, toughest schedule, PFF 61st. Over-under's an even 9, the old Niner.
An even 9, huh?
Yeah, really weird. Minus 140 on the over, plus 110 on the under. Interesting.
I think they're going to open up and smash Florida week 1.
Okay.
And
like that.
And then they should have their way to USC, which should probably be a game by that time of year.
Yep.
And
about Oregon.
We'll see about Oregon. Their coach just left and stuff, and I'm not in love with Oregon this year.
Okay. They've had good recruiting classes recently, even though I know they have a new coach, but like Mario Cristobal.
They might have the 2 best linebackers in college football, though.
Right.
And that little Sewell and that who's that other dude that's a beast?
Yeah. And Dan Lanning is a defensive coordinator from Georgia. So, but again, their quarterback is Bo Nix from Auburn. So, yeah. They don't have any receivers. That's a big problem. And
how does Oregon not have any receivers? That's all they used to have.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. I don't think Mario Cristobal was working that L.A. area, the California area, you know.
Oh, that speed comes from.
Exactly. You got to get into South Central. That's what Chip Kelly was doing. So, yeah, I'm leaning under.
I mean, you're only taking 8. I mean, to me, the low bar would be 9, and I think they'll probably win 10.
Okay. All right, you're going over. I'm going under.
Yep.
We'll meet you at the push.
Right.
That's what she said. Yeah. All right. Any other teams we missed that we should cover? I didn't catch any. NC State, I don't care about. Canes, I don't care about. Baylor, I don't care about.
What do you got? Yeah, I think you hit most of them.
I mean, Big Ten wise, is there anybody that we should talk about? I don't see anybody else even ranked.
It'd be interesting to see, where that middle of the pack moves. It's always a up and down struggle through that middle. Indiana was, got up to that top of that middle tier there for a couple years and then went back down.
Yeah.
Is Purdue going to get there? Is Minnesota going to get there?
Yeah.
Those are kind of the interesting things I want. Is Illinois finally going to do anything? You got old Bert out there. Bert's going to build himself a team.
He's going to make like a Wisconsin light,
Yep.
Wrapped in blue and orange.
Chicago speed.
Yeah. So yeah, this is going to take him a couple of years. I imagine that place needs quite an upgrade, and they need some of that BTN money reinvested into the program.
Sure.
So, yeah. Coming up, folks. Future episodes. We are only 2.5 weeks from game day. So that means the week of, Sunday the 28th will be our pregame for the Notre Dame game. We'll be recording that. In between now and then, we're going to do the offensive two deep and then the defensive two deep, and update any injuries or camp questions. You know, I've got a few questions of my own, like, you know, corner depth, you know, offensive line depth, stuff like that. You know, short yardage plays. You know, red zone defense or red zone offense. You know, things like that are my concern. So we'll be discussing those, and like I mentioned earlier, please, if you have any ideas for a subscription-based service, if I were to offer that, what are you looking for? What would you pay for? Would you like a group text? I was thinking of a group text where all the subscribers are on the same text chain, and it's an enclosed environment. You know, Shawn, would you be interested in that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like to be informed.
Right.
My people perish for lack of knowledge.
Ooh, that's deep. Very deep. So, yeah, that's what I was thinking, and maybe some gambling videos. I might roll out like 10 picks per week of my lead pipe locks kind of thing. We could do a message board, but those places get pretty messy and toxic. And we'll also like offer a free shirt to subscribers. So any shirt you want from the site. That's what I'm thinking. But anyways, hit me up, slide into the DMs with your suggestions, what you would want. I've had multiple people reach out to me and ask me if I'm going to offer anything like that. So that's why I'm kind of putting the call out for what you would want, because I want to serve what you guys prefer. You know, I don't want to throw a bunch of crap against the wall that nobody wants. So, Henry, anything else tonight you want to cover?
I'm good.
All right, we will talk to you next week.
Amen.
Have a good one.
Yep. Peace.
There.